Welcome to After the Whistle. We have a jam-packed show today. There's a lot going on. We got a lot of news, but quickly, congrats to the St. Mary's girls basketball team. They just beat Archbishop Williams 59-62. They'll be in the state finals. We'll have more on high school basketball, but their game just finished, so we're giving you that update. You heard it first from us. All right, football news. Todd's here once again. We back. We back in action. We might get canceled after this episode. But we back. And we got to talk about the Browns. And they may no longer be the laughingstock of the NFL after what they've done so far in free agency. So let's get right. They just picked up Odell Beckham Jr. last night. And what was the most... Nobody saw this. Well, insiders saw this coming. I didn't see this coming. I did not see this coming at all. And they basically... They didn't have to give up much to get him either. They gave up 17th pick and Jabril Peppers.
Yeah, I don't think anybody see this coming, to be honest. Like, when it happened, it was like social media was in an uproar. They probably broke the internet. You know what I mean? And it seemed like him and the Giants, the relationship was kind of spent. Like, it was kind of done. OBJ was getting injured, doing nonsense stuff. He hasn't really done much since the little picture on the boat. So, like...
and don't forget the situation in that hotel room in France with that model where they looked like they had some white stuff on.
Oh yeah, true. He's probably need a new start, new fresh beginning.
But why is such a young talent to give up? But we'll get to the Giants in a bit. But we're gonna talk about the Browns first. But these guys have been making moves all offseason. Since free agency started. Olivia Vernon, they picked him up. They picked up Sheldon Richardson. And also they have Myles Garrett on defense. They have Denzel Ward. This team is, they have pieces. They have pieces that looks like they could be ready right now to make a run.
And they have Mr. Mayfield, you know what I mean, throwing them touchdowns. So, I said earlier in the year, like, I think the Browns are on the right track just because the moves they're making. And it seems like they're making even better moves.
Yeah. So. And especially you added Odell and his best friend, Jarvis Landry's on. They played together in college. So those two are automatically going to get along just because they're best friends, played in college, that they know each other. And they're both pretty explosive. I think Odell's faster. He's more of a threat downfield. Landry's more of a threat inside, getting the short routes, going over the middle. That's going to be the thing. And this offense, they got Kareem Hunt coming into that offense. They got Nick Chubb. Their tight end is a pretty good tight end, pretty good young tight end. Whoever their head coach has no excuse. This might be, if you don't make the playoffs, you might not last.
True, and they're trying to change the culture. You can definitely tell because they're not relying on picks anymore because they get top picks every year because they're bums usually. So now they're like, you know what, let's make some trades and get quality guys in here, quality pros, all pro guys, so we can make a push for the playoffs. And I think they might make a good push for it this year, or maybe definitely not this year, but the year after probably.
I think with that offense, with all those players, especially when you have two explosive receivers, then you bring in a running back, Kareem Hunt, who's very explosive. And Nick Chubb isn't a scrub as well, so your offense, there's gonna be no excuse for them not to make the playoffs with all that talent they have.
But definitely no excuse not to score.
No,
But like even their defense kind of played all right throughout the season, and kept them in games. So if your offense could be a high-powered offense and you have a solid defense, they might squeeze their way into the playoffs.
Yeah, so if you see we'll talk about the other teams in that division, the moves they made, but right now the Browns, you guys, you see what happens when your GM doesn't sniff that powder or isn't on that stuff. When you have a competent GM who just says no to drugs, because the last one, now the Giants, to a team that's sniffing that stuff. What are they doing?
I don't know if they must have told Eli, we owe you a favor. We're going to keep you till you in a walker. But, like, I told you before the show started, I seem like he been winning by accident, man. Like, let's be honest, man. Like, you told me your stats. You got over 2,000 interceptions and only over 3,000 TDs. That doesn't balance out for quote-unquote, what?
300 and 200.
Oh, my bad.
3,000.
Oh, my bad. 300 and 200. My bad. But for him to quote-unquote be an elite quarterback, he really isn't it.
Yeah, you look at the Giants' move. They get rid of Landon Collins. 3-time Pro Bowler. They're probably their best safety. He had issues covering, but it's hard to cover anybody in this league nowadays with all the rules. You bring in Jabril Peppers, nice young player. He's going to be in his second year. But why are you getting rid of your young talent and you're keeping the old guy who's basically crippled your team the past couple of years? Now you only have Saquon Barkley. Like, who you going to throw to? Because Eli can't throw far at all.
Man, I just feel like behind closed doors, they must have signed an agreement to keep him as long as he's able or something, because these things just don't make sense. But the way New York is moving, other than the Yankees, they're not making much sense at all. So
yeah, I think whatever's happening and whatever they're doing in the Madison Square Garden, it's seeping through to Giants Stadium or the Giants organization, because we got to look at the owners, we got to look at the GM. What are y'all doing? Especially Landon Collins, letting him go. If you didn't want to bring him back, you could have franchise tagged him and traded him and get some draft picks for him, because there were people that wanted him for draft picks. Also with OBJ, you gave him the contract last year, the big contract, making him the highest paid wide receiver, and then you trade him a year later. Then you might as well have traded him last year, where you could have got a lot more than just Jabril Peppers in this year's first-round pick. But, I mean, the Patriots were looking at trying to try to trade for OBJ last year. So the Giants, we don't know what they're doing. It's terrible.
And it's like you trade your best plays on both sides of the field. It just doesn't make sense at all. Or both sides of the ball, I should say. Yeah. It just doesn't make sense at all.
Zero. I guess they had, and what's worse is they didn't draft the quarterback last year. We're not even sure if they're going to draft the quarterback this year. So where is this team heading? Where are they heading? Because it doesn't seem like they're going in the right direction.
Not at all.
Yeah. Dumb. Oh, well. We don't like New Yorkers anyway, so whatever. Enjoy y'all misery. From one New York team to another New York team, the Jets they picked up some pieces in this offseason. They picked up some defensive players. C.J. Mosley from Baltimore, solid pickup for them. And that defense wasn't bad last year. They were tough. They were tough in the run and tough in the pass. Their offense wasn't that good, but picking up C.J. Mosley was big for them. So, and also, offensively, you had Jamison Crowder and Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, I was a little shocked when I heard Le'Veon Bell was going to the Jets, because I'm like, you're going to sit out your whole year not playing for the Steelers and you go to the Jets out of all the teams? That might have been interested in you. But he might have seen something in the Jets that we don't see at this point in time. He might be able to realize that, all right, I'm a great running back. I could be a focal point for this team. And they got a rookie QB that's kind of finding his way. He's not awful, so they might be on to something.
Yeah, they're definitely on to something, because Sam Darnold, he actually was playing well at certain points in the season, but, it's the rookie year. Yeah. And so now you got somebody he could take pressure off him and hand the ball to. And then you have Jamison Crowder. He's a pretty good all-around wide receiver, because he can stretch the field, he can return punts, so he can do a lot of things. I'm just the head coach. I don't know about him. Adam Gase, I don't know, because I saw him in Miami. Granted, he had Ryan Tannehill as a quarterback, but he had him from his rookie year to then, and I mean there was no improvement. So head coaching might be the issue with this team, because they have everything, especially defense. Their defense, they got players all around that defense.
I mean, as long as the head coach doesn't try to do too much, sometimes you got to allow your guys just to go out there and make plays. Yeah. So if he can figure that out, I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, and Bell, he got $53 million and 33 of his guaranteed. It's not what he was probably looking for more, because he turned down a 6-year, $70 million contract from the Steelers. But I think I'm guessing the value with this is much more better than the value from the Steelers, depending on the guaranteed monies.
And when you hear about certain things that go on in the locker room with the Steelers, because Mr. Brown's been kind of vocal about certain things. Yeah. Maybe he wasn't feeling certain things that Roethlisberger might have been doing as well, or just what the Steelers organization was doing as a whole.
Especially after what all those players was doing to him when he was sitting out, so it was like time to go. And the Steelers, well, we don't know what y'all doing that. We don't know. But good move for the Jets. The AFC East look like it might be competitive this year. Or it might be but we see this all the time. Yeah. Everybody makes moves, and the Patriots make 2 or 3 moves, and they still end up top. Speaking of the Patriots, they picked up Michael Bennett this offseason. They picked him up, and I think this is a good pickup because they did lose Trey Flowers to Detroit. Michael Bennett, I think he had 9 sacks last season. Trey Flowers had 7 sacks for the season. So I think it's a good swap. Although Flowers is younger than Bennett.
That's the only thing with Mike is his age. Well, Michael Bennett's Michael Bennett. Like, there really isn't much to say. He's Michael Bennett.
Yeah, and Trey Flowers, he's going to Detroit. He's going to the Lions. Seems like former Patriots are all going towards the the Lions.
I mean,
Danny Amendola
coaching staff, man.
Yeah, so this was a good move for the Patriots. They also lost Cordarrelle Patterson, which doesn't surprise me because they weren't gonna pick him up.
Running back.
He did everything for them. He
was
receiver. He was a kick returner, running back.
They got rid of him.
Yeah, the Bears picked him up. Yeah.
Like, you keep somebody that has that many tools that you could, as like a dual offensive threat, you keep something like that. But hey, if you got something for him,
yeah, man. I mean, they'll probably find somebody in the draft. But I like the Michael Bennett move. It's the Patriots. They never go for the splash. They just pick somebody, a solid veteran or a solid up and coming player.
But he's kind of more than just solid, though. Yeah. You know what I mean? Michael Bennett's Michael Bennett.
Yeah.
So, and you said 9 sacks. He's still productive at a high rate.
And you can move him around on that defensive line because he played defensive tackle and he could play the defensive end. So that'll be good for Belichick's like versatile players. So that was a good pickup for them. So
vets too, and veterans.
Yeah, definitely. The Raiders picked up Trent Brown and Antonio Brown. The biggest pickup was Antonio Brown, and looks like they hoodwinked or they played the Steelers for Antonio Brown because.
Yeah, man, I don't know what Gruden was up to. He was over here talking bad about him all season, but he's starting to make some things happen. You know, I'm a Raider fan, so I'm happy to see Antonio Brown with them. But I just hope he don't bring that extra stuff to the Raiders. But I don't think they will because the relationship will be a little different. Yeah,
a change of scenery is always good. And also, they gave him. I think they redid his contract. The Raiders redid his contract, so he's getting $30 million. He's going to be getting $30 million. He's still going to be the highest paid wide receiver. So all the stuff that he was doing, the antics he was doing, or his lashing out at Steelers, because he did want more money. Yeah. Because he saw what the other receivers got last season and what some might get, and he's proven he's still one of the most productive receiver in the league. So, I mean, and the NFL don't like paying people who are productive. So I think whatever he did worked out for him. Yeah, definitely. I would definitely say that. I'm not big on all like the locker room talk. Yeah. What goes on? I feel like you should always keep that in house. Yeah. But at some point, he's been there for 8, 9 years? Yeah, like 9 years. He's been there almost 10 years, so he should be able to have a say. And you know how they do skill plays compared to QBs. Yeah. Shut him, catch the ball, let that man throw it to you. So it's like, at some point, he should be able to say his piece, and they should have been able to sit in a room and, I want to say, talk about it before they just shipped him out. Through all this, nobody said nothing to Ben Roethlisberger. Point exactly. Ben Roethlisberger, nobody has said anything about him and the stuff he was doing because he's the sole reason Antonio Brown didn't want to be there anymore. End of the day, somebody has to throw you the ball. Somebody has to hand the ball off to the running backs. Mm-hmm. Somebody's in control of the ball all the time. So you might want to talk to the man that's in control of the ball. Yeah, because all we hear is people saying some bad stuff about Antonio Brown, but nobody is saying nothing about Ben Roethlisberger's antics and the stuff he was doing that caused this to happen. Because and the way he made it sound like there was like a division. There was Roethlisberger and everybody else. So it's the GM didn't help either by saying Roethlisberger's like the parent, and everybody else is his kids. First of all, I wouldn't want Roethlisberger nowhere near me as a parent. Yeah, right. Foster, step, nothing. Sorry, nah, man. He doesn't even hold himself. He's not a leader. Yeah, he's not. He blames people. Like, come on. At the end of the day, when you step in center and you're the QB, you take on everything else that comes with it, positive and negative. And some people shy away from the negative because they only want to say, bathe in the positive. Yeah, so the Steelers enabled him. They enabled him a lot, and this is what got them to where they are now, and they got nobody to blame but themselves. So, I mean, good luck to Antonio Brown. If you look at his crazy hair and mustache, he fits. That mustache is crazy. He fits the Raiders. He perfectly fits the Raiders. He fits that outcast, outlaw personality. That blonde mustache is crazy. Yeah, that's terrible. All right. On to more NFL news. Nick Foles, he signed a 4-year deal that's worth up to $102 million. 52 is guaranteed with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Good for him for cashing in on his little stint that he had with the Eagles. He did sign, he cashed in. You good. You got your money.
But that was a 2-year stint. It wasn't like Matt Castle had 1 year. Nick was 2 years and a Super Bowl. I mean, you got to reward that, man. Good work, man.
Yeah, good work, Nick. But now we're going to see if he's really that good because this team, the Jaguars don't have no weapons. Leonard Fournette is about it, but their receivers, I don't know who he's going to, because he doesn't have Alshon Jeffrey or anybody like that. Who's he going to throw the ball to? He's like D.D. Westbrook or somebody like that. I don't know. I don't see.
I just feel like he didn't care what team he was going to. He just wanted to be able to start and just show people he could play.
Yeah,
it's one of those things. He'll take whatever he can get.
He wanted that money.
And ain't nothing wrong with getting paid.
There's definitely nothing wrong with getting paid, and especially in the NFL, I think once you get a Super Bowl ring, get your money. That's it, because you don't need another one. You got one.
And especially if you're a backup with a Super Bowl ring. What? Is that even heard of it?
I mean, there was, I think, Kurt Warner when he was the backup. Then he started the season because of that. But the last one to do it, I think, was like Hostetler with the Giants back in the '90s.
Okay.
But that was like the last backup to do it. But kudos to Nick Foles on cashing in. It's all that's capitalism for you. Capitalism at its finest. The 49ers are making some moves. They've traded for D Ford, and they also signed. They made some defensive move. They signed Kewan Alexander, who was coming off ACL surgery, but he was pretty productive before that with the Bucks. So they're making moves on the defensive side of the ball, and I think they're trying to make some moves on the offensive side of the ball as well. But I like this move for them defensively because, I mean, they have some pieces offensively. They got George Kittle, Marquise Goodwin, Jimmy G's coming back. Hopefully he's healthy enough to start the season. But, San Francisco is doing this is slowly bringing themselves back to relevancy.
Yeah, I definitely can see that because they needed some trades, after the year they had. So I'm thinking their year will definitely be better this year than last year.
Yeah, definitely. And they're also giving Ford a new contract. There's going to be $35 million guaranteed, I believe. So, hey, I mean, these guys, he's one of the sack leaders for the Chiefs last season, so it's good to cash in. I'm trying to understand why some of these teams are letting go of their best players. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. I got the figures right here for his contract. It's going to be 5 years, $87.5 million for the contract. And the Chiefs, they receive a second round pick in 2020. So, I mean, San Francisco, there wasn't no high risk move. They didn't have to give up much for him. So, I mean, that only helps their defense much more because as long as they stay healthy, that was their issues last year. That team was just breaking apart, breaking
down.
Once
they lost G, it was done.
They lost Jimmy G. Richard Sherman was hurt at some points in the season, and it was a young team, but maybe we'll see. We'll see if they could get it together and pick it up. But that was a nice move. The Rams. Oh, I forgot. This was breaking before we get into the Rams. Earl Thomas. Mm-hmm. Earl Thomas signed with the Ravens. This just happened literally. It literally happened like 15 minutes ago. The Ravens needed something because they were losing everybody. They lost Terrell Suggs. They lost Eric Weddle. So this was a move that they needed to get. They also signed Mark Ingram to a 3-year deal. So they're making some moves. Earl Thomas's contract is 4 years, $55 million. So he was looking for that big payday because he's going to be 30 later on this year. So, 30 in the NFL, that's like your last leg.
I mean, when you told me when I walked in here that he got a trade, I looked at you like, isn't he like the cornerstone of the defense? Mm-hmm. Like, I thought he was going to retire. I thought certain players in the league, like Suggs, Thomas, were going to retire with the Ravens and the Seahawks. That's what I thought.
That you would think, right?
You would think.
Once again, the Seahawks, the Seahawks didn't want to pay him. They didn't want to pay him. He got hurt, and that's when he gave them the bird as he was being carted off because he did it because of what happened. And Yeah, that's crazy. But the Seahawks you giving up a guy who has 28 career interceptions, who's one of the best tackling safeties that you guys had, and coverage safety as well. So it's gonna be tough for them to rebound. They've been losing to some guys. So even last year, he had how many interceptions he had last season? He had a few before he got hurt. He had 3 interceptions last year. I think he returned a couple for a touchdown, then he got hurt. So, I mean.
Seemed like the past couple of years where every offseason they're getting rid of somebody on their defense. That's a vocal point.
That whole Legion of Boom defense, the Legion of Boom era is pretty much done. So, I mean, it was good while it lasted. They got a Super Bowl out of it, so, I mean, they'll go down in Seahawks, whatever. Rams. The Rams, they re-signed Dante Fowler, and they also signed Eric Weddle. This was good because they released Mark Barron. Yeah. So they needed to pick up some people. They picked up some solid people, especially for that defense. Now we're gonna see if they're gonna pick up Ndamukong Suh, Patrick Peterson, Aqib Talib, if they're gonna bring those guys back, because Eric Weddle's a good safety, and if you bring back Peterson, Marcus Peters, I should say, and Aqib Talib, that'll only help their defense.
I mean, we did talk about Eric the other week, talking about how he's going to get picked up. I think he's going to be picked up in the next 7 days.
Yeah.
But, the Rams don't really need that much, to be honest. Like, they just need a couple pieces just to keep them, I want to say, afloat. And they're going to be fine, man.
Yeah, definitely. So, but they got to work on the offense.
Yeah.
Because Todd Gurley apparently has arthritis in his knees. That's why. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the thing. That's why he was.
That's tough.
Yeah.
And then Jared Goff got to get used to he has to get more comfortable.
He has to not let the coach make the calls for him while you're in play. So it's crazy.
I think they both learned from that mistake.
Yeah.
I'm sure they both. I think it was one of those. He was in the first Super Bowl he ever coached, and he's relatively young. So he seemed like he might be a control freak.
Yeah, he might be.
I mean, when you're yelling all the plays in your quarterback's helmet, you're not allowing your quarterback to think.
Yeah.
So he might have just wanted too much control of the situation at hand.
All right. Also, the Kansas City Chiefs losing some defensive player. They add Tyrann Mathieu. They gave him a three-year, $42 million contract. Him and Eric Berry may pair to be one of the best safety tandems, as long as Eric Berry stays healthy, as long as Tyrann Mathieu stays healthy. That's been his problem. He produces when he's on the field, but he gets hurt a lot. And he's one of the best all-around, another safety who's probably the best all-around safety in the league. So the Chiefs, they need all the defensive help they can get, because we saw how their defense let them down.
Definitely. The Honey Badger, man, I like hearing about him going to a quality team, because he's definitely going to be effective. And it's the teams that are getting these players, though. It's like the Chiefs, the Rams, weren't these guys in 1 and 2 in contention to win a Super Bowl last year?
Yeah.
And
they were also a few plays away from winning the Super Bowl, from going to the Super Bowl or winning the Super Bowl. So I think adding players like Tyrann Mathieu, they might get over the hump. But the NFL isn't one in the offseason, so we'll see how everything works out when they get together. Terrell Suggs, he signed with the Cardinals. Some people thought he would be a Raven for life, and they just let him go. I think it's because old age.
Old age. Sometimes he seemed like he's a little hard to deal with. You know what I mean? In the locker room, in the organization, he speaks his mind freely. So, it might have been his time to go. But
at this point in his career, you gotta be like, yeah, that's just. I mean, you should be able to deal with it, because it's not like this isn't nothing new.
Well, teams that respect their players say things like that, and that appreciate their players will be like, all right, let's keep him for the long hauls, retire his number and all that. But you know how football is, man.
Yeah, football.
They don't really respect their players at all.
They don't. The NFL is ridiculous sometimes with all that. But this may lead to the Cardinals picking up, what's this guy, Kyler Murray in the first round instead of Nick Bosa, the defensive end from Ohio State.
Could. I mean, I sent you that text when you was enjoying your time out there about there's no loyalty, man. They a couple months ago was talking about they wasn't gonna even touch Rosen. He's our guy.
Yeah.
Then a blink of an eye over there looking at Murray like. Come on, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, you just drafted the guy last year. Give him a chance.
Yeah, it makes zero sense, but I mean, that's where we are right now. So, Cardinals, I don't know. I don't even know how good their coach is going to be. But anyways, what else we got? The Philadelphia Eagles, they signed Deshaun Jackson. He's making his return to Philly. I think this was a good move for Philly because Carson Wentz could get him the ball downfield. They already got Alshon Jeffrey who could make tough plays. Deshaun Jackson's only going to help, and he showed this past season that he still got the burners. He could still move. And he could still stretch the field. So this was.
And for the Eagles, it gives you a couple different looks, a few different looks. You say you got a guy that can make tough plays, and you got a guy that's speedy. So you don't really know who you can really target.
Yeah.
So.
I know, and they'll help the Philly offense. Their thing is Carson Wentz just needs to stay healthy. He needs to stay healthy.
I mean, we won't know. Good luck.
Yeah, we won't know, man. And then Malik Jackson, Jacksonville Jaguars. That's another team. These guys, they've let a lot of defensive players go. They were Saxonville a couple of years ago, and not even just a year ago. They were Saxonville. They had all these players, and now they've let Dante Fowler go. They've let Malik Jackson go. So it's like, guys. Got a taste of victory, and
certain organizations don't know how to continue the trend of winning. I feel like they make moves like this, and they wonder why they're gonna lose more games next year.
Yeah, especially you just letting that go. I wouldn't be surprised if they traded Jalen Ramsey tomorrow.
True, and remember how you said like we don't know why why teams are trading their best players? Because we come from New England.
Yeah, it's true.
Pass some doodles type of things.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean. Free agency is crazy in the NFL right now. It's crazy. We're going to go to Craig in the Fantasy No Huddle. He's going to give his take on the NFL free agency. We're going to come back, talk some basketball.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to No Huddle. It's your boy, Craig. You might recognize me from my show, The Flex, Wednesday nights at 9. But today I'm here on No Huddle, on After the Whistle, to give you my best free agency pickups so far. The biggest news in free agency pickup is actually not a free agent, but the trade for Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown to the Oakland Raiders is a huge move by Gruden. It's going to give Derek Carr the much-needed weapon on wide receiver that he needs, and I really love that pickup for the Raiders. I'm a big fan of the Raiders, and I think that Antonio Brown will fit very nicely there. One of the biggest names in free agency has been Nick Foles. He's actually the biggest name, but he's probably the most talked about free agent next to Le'Veon Bell. He finally signs with the Jaguars for 4 years, $88 million, $22 million a year, which is crazy to me. I don't believe he's worth that much money, but the Jags do, and it's a good home for Nick Foles, a place for him to spread his wings, and much success to him. I hope the best. I love the Jaguars as well, so I want to see them do well, but they're going to need some wide receiver help. The next biggest move, I believe, Terrell Suggs going to the Arizona Cardinals blows my mind. I cannot believe that he signed with Cardinals. I thought Terrell Suggs was a Baltimore for life. And no. Which also does mean that the Arizona Cardinals are more than likely moving on from drafting Nick Bosa. But if they're not and they get Nick Bosa, you are going to have Chandler Jones, Nick Bosa, and Terrell Suggs. That might be the most dangerous defense coming after your quarterback the NFL has ever seen. So we'll see what happens. But I don't know. The Patriots trade for Michael Bennett. Once again, not a free agency move, but Michael Bennett to the Patriots makes me happy. 9 sacks last year. We let Trey Flowers go to Detroit. He only had 7.5. Now, he might get better as the years progress, but I believe Michael Bennett, I believe Michael Bennett is going to fill in the role quite nicely. Not such a big move, but Danny Amendola signs to the Detroit Lions. That was also a move that I liked for Danny Amendola, going for a paycheck. You've already got yourself a ring. It's time to make that money before you retire. And like I said, Trey Flowers signs to the Lions. man, that does hurt the Patriots, but we got Michael Bennett to soften the blow, and the Detroit Lions defense looks to be getting stronger with every passing day. Also, the Raiders steal from the Patriots, and they sign Trent Brown. Trent Brown is now officially the highest paid offensive lineman in NFL history, and much deserved. Trent Brown did not allow Brady to get sacked all season. He is a monster, and this is probably the one time I don't agree with the Patriots not paying big bucks. Trent Brown should have got his money, and I believe that we are going to be missing out on quite a player. Another huge acquisition. The Indianapolis Colts signed Devin Funchess, and this makes them offensively one of the most dangerous teams in the NFL. You have T.Y. Hilton, you have Andrew Luck, you have Eric Ebron, and now you have Devin Funchess. Big, tall guy, very scary offense right now. I'd be afraid to face them to go to the Super Bowl if I'm being the Patriots. Cole Beasley and John Brown also go to Buffalo Bills. I like that move for Josh Allen. But that's all the time I have. My name is Craig. This is No Huddle on After the Whistle. Check out my show Wednesday nights at 9, The Flex. And until then, have a great night.
All right, and we are back. Thanks, Craig, for that.
Craig.
We got a little issue with some of the things you said, but it's all good. It's all good, Craig. NBA talk. The Celtics just completed a 3-1 West Coast trip with, this was a successful trip. I think I don't know what the heck happened up there, but they seemed like they had some kind of seance or whatever on that plane because they're all talking about they have a different point of view of everything. They're getting along. They're playing. They played the entire West Coast trip with heart, except the Clippers game, but whatever. Yeah, they was just playing well in that West Coast game, especially the big wins against the Kings after beating the Warriors. It was a back-to-back. We talk about Gordon Hayward hitting that game winner, and then they made light work of the Lakers, and I'm not even going to count that Clippers game. I think they were over being on that West Coast. I think it was probably ready to go, but they played well.
I think they needed that camaraderie, that little plane flight, just to get away.
Yeah.
And they need to stop talking to the media, because how the media makes things. They'll cut off half your sentence and say that's what you said. So it's one of those things. They just had to come together as a team, just understand why we're together. We're here for one common goal, and that's to win a championship.
Yeah, and it's getting to that point in the season. It's getting to that home stretch playoff push, so they could still elevate themselves to the number 3 seed. But it looks like, they need to put together some wins again to maybe they can move up to the number 2. But right now, it's looking like they might play Philly in the first round unless they make some ground. So successful West Coast trip. Hopefully, we don't hear no more. They're not like this towards the end of the season like they've been all year. So I think sometimes getting away helps a lot. So
also one thing I noticed too, with the wins, is their leading scorers all different. So that just shows some people aren't worried about who's getting the last second shot or who's getting the touches all game. They're just playing and understanding that winning's the overall goal.
And the ball movement. They got the ball's moving around a lot. But we know when there's 2 minutes left in the game, that's Kyrie time.
Yeah, we know that.
But he's doing a better job of not getting his own shot, but also creating for others, because he's been having double digits assists or 7, 8 assists. He's been getting people involved. So keep it up until the playoffs. Mm-hmm. The Lakers, some sad news. Brandon Ingram, they put him on the shelves for the rest of the season. He has blood clots in his arm. This is, for a guy that's only 21, it's kind of scary for him, because this is, as we all know, this is why Chris Bosh isn't currently playing in the NBA right now anymore, because of the blood clots. But this is a little scary, especially for him.
Nah, it is scary. I wish him all the best. I hope he comes back in a timely fashion. But now it's no longer about basketball for him. It's more or less just living.
Yeah.
And just making sure he gets his body right.
And if you look at him, he was actually getting into his zone. If you look at some of the games before this happened, he had 29 points, 32 points, 23 points, 31, 25. So he started to, he was picking it up. I think he figured out the league, figured out his niche in the league, and everything's coming together now it was coming together for him.
And I think playing with LeBron opened some things up for him too, because they focus so much on LeBron being the guy, but if you notice, he's the one taking the big shots.
Yep.
So.
Speaking of LeBron, he passed Michael Jordan for third all-time.
He's supposed to.
No, the Lakers fans were being disrespectful as usual. No cheers, no nothing. They were just like half-heartedly praising him. Like, Lakers fans are still holding on to this notion with Kobe, this Kobe notion. They just don't want to give LeBron any type of props, which is annoying and embarrassing. But at least acknowledge that accomplishment because he just passed Michael Jordan.
No, I think it's dope, but it's like anybody that's seen LeBron's career feels he should have done it. He's supposed to.
Yeah.
Granted, he's a better passer than a scorer, and that's what he focuses on. Mm-hmm. And that's probably the dopest thing because he's gonna go down as one of the greatest scorers and greatest passers NBA ever seen. Mm-hmm. But like, I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised. The only thing I'm surprised is not how fast, but that he got there in timely fashion. Yeah, kind of how fast he got there because Jordan was a scorer.
Yeah.
LeBron isn't. He's a distributor. He does a little bit of everything.
But also, it's like the different eras because LeBron came in where the half-court game, the slow-down game was kind of dying out, and it was getting more fast-paced games. Jordan, they played a more slowed-down half-court offense. It wasn't that much, but it was different times. But still, they both were great. Kudos to LeBron on that. You Kobe hater, you Kobe fans, stop hating on that dude. Give him his props.
No, definitely though. I meant to say facilitator though.
Yeah.
My apologies.
Yeah. I mean, we knew.
Yeah, just had to make sure.
Andre Ingram signed another 10-day contract with the Lakers. They brought him back. It's good for him. He was the guy. He made waves last year when they picked him up from the G League. They brought him in towards the end of the season. This is a guy that saw them. He's just still going at it.
I think it's dope for him. But my thing is, though, like, you gave him a 10-day contract last year. Like, I feel like the Lakers just need something in the tabloids to keep them in.
Yeah.
My thing is, if you want the man, just sign him. Like, don't stop giving this man these 10-day contracts and give the man a job for like a month or two. Like, let me get some real money. Like,
yeah, give him a 1-year
I feel like
contract.
they're treating him like a spectacle kind of because they don't really like talk about every guy they call up in the league.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But because the Lakers, they call him up. They want to make this big old thing about it. But no, just sign him, man.
Yeah, especially now. You guys got nothing going on for you. Just sign him for the rest of the season.
You need a shooter.
Yeah, y'all definitely do. Other NBA news, you see this one. What Russell Westbrook versus the fans in Utah. Apparently, that fan has been banned from all Jazz games, him and his wife. But this is the first time Russell Westbrook has had issues with fans in Utah. And Matt Barnes said Utah has the most racist fans. And, I saw a video of Utah fans. It was like, I think back in maybe the late 80s, early 90s. I think they got on the court fighting. I forget who it was, but they got on the court trying to fight a player.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
I'll check that out.
Yeah, I saw that video. But, yeah, this was, the people are out of control. And he's lucky. Westbrook, people should learn from the Malice in the Palace that, these guys aren't to be played with. So if you would never say that to him if he's walking down the street, don't think you safe in the stands because there are some players in the league that will throw it all away just to put hands on you.
We live in this social media world where they feel like they can say what they want with no repercussions. Mm-hmm. And you got to realize, though, like, as a professional athlete, too, I know they probably said some crazy stuff, but just go home and count your money. Don't even engage in that. 'Cause at the end of the day, once again, that man's life probably sucks compared to yours. And just, granted, he said some wild stuff, he say some stuff, but my thing, I'm not going to threaten no man's wife, though.
Yeah, he was,
That's a little, because you're Russell Westbrook, like, you could threaten him, but because you threatened the wife, I think that's why they fined you personally.
Yeah,
like,
probably why, but I think he said the wife was joining in as well. This is the point where, maybe if your wife was there, she probably, if Westbrook's wife was there, that wouldn't happen, but
I totally
but yeah, we definitely live in an age where we need to bring back people getting hands put on them because everybody's getting a pass for being crazy, talking crazy, and this wouldn't slide years ago. You say something crazy and the person sees you, they're getting the hands put on you, and we need to go back to that. Sometimes you just gotta put the hands on somebody and let them know. Listen.
Definitely, and like we talked earlier in the year about like the issue with Westbrook before. Why don't these fans have any fan etiquette. Or on the back of your ticket, it should tell you what you should and should be able to do. Yeah, you could heckle guys, but watch your mouth when it comes to certain things. Like, you know what you should and shouldn't say to a grown man.
Yeah, even in high school they have that. The PA announcer lets you know this is what you shouldn't be doing during the game, and they let in high school games they let the folks know that. So I mean, it's crazy, but it's crazy. Before we go, the New York Knicks, James Dolan, this guy, he banned the fan from Madison Square Garden from ever attending Knicks games because he told them to sell the team. And his reason was he felt ambushed or attacked by that fan. Just look at him. He looks like a miserable man.
His neck sitting on his chin.
Yeah, that looks like the slobby rich guy who got money but isn't happy.
He got a neck brace under his chin. That's crazy. But honestly, man, like, that's clown stuff. Like, get out your feelings, bro.
Right?
Like, you're an owner. So meaning, like, you should get the same heckles and all that the players get, because you putting this trash on the court.
Yep.
So, and you had no problem attacking Oakley and all this too. Like, remember Oakley said something?
Yep.
Like, at the end of the day, look in the mirror and understand if you're destroying the organization.
Which he is. So
you should do better or just sell it.
This is what happens when you have a spoiled rich kid who has money, who could buy a team, and he's acting like the spoiled rich kid because he's never, he's always gotten what he wants. His parents were billionaires themselves, so he's one of those guys that's always gotten what he wants, and if something doesn't go his way, he'll do stuff like that, and it's just clownish. Like, come on now, you're a clown. Why are you banning him? He didn't say nothing crazy. He didn't attack you personally. He didn't curse at you. He didn't say nothing about your families. He just said what everybody's been saying for the past how many years? Sell the team. Since he's got to New York in 1999, I think they've made the playoffs 3 or 4 times. And
last time I checked, why do you have to be all in the stands anyways? Most owners aren't even seen, unless you're Mark Cuban. Yeah. But Mark Cuban does things with his organization. Yep. So you need to just go sit in the box somewhere if you don't want nobody bothering you. Yeah. So. Yeah, stop being soft. Yeah, that's crazy. Before we go to Athlete's Corner, you brought this up. Harlem Heat is getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Man. Booker T. Stevie Ray. Yeah, man. Those guys were hilarious, though. Some of their promos back in the day was hilarious. I'm just staring at their outfits. They say WCW says that them and the Steiner brothers are a toss-up for the best tag team. The Steiner brothers? And they didn't have as much swag and flair as charisma as Harlem Heat. Yeah. You know what I mean? And the Steiner brothers weren't really cool until Big Papa Pump. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like Big Papa Pump. Like, but the best tag team gotta be the what's the guy? Animal and Hulk. That's WWE though. That's Legion of Doom. Yeah. Trust me, that's my favorite tag team of all time. Yeah. But WCW, it was between those two, I guess. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, congrats to them for Booker T. Can you dig it, sucker? We're going to go to Athlete's Corner. We had one of your old students, Robert Wallace. This guy, he had 1,000 points, 1,000 rebounds for his career. We talked about that. That's what's up, man. Yeah, what's up. Athlete's Corner. And then we're going to wrap this show up with some boxing and some other stuff. All right. Welcome to Athlete's Corner. We got another special guest here. We have senior from Lynn Tech, Mr. Robert Wallace. What's going on, sir?
What's up, man? Chilling.
How are you, man?
I'm good. You?
So, Rob, he became the first player in Lynn Tech history to score 1,000 points and grab 1,000 rebounds. The first history. How does that feel, man?
Feels good. I talked about it since freshman year with Coach. He told me that after I scored 34 points in the JV game for him, he was like, "You're gonna get 1,000 points." Yeah. And then when he looked at the books and also saw I had 1,000 rebounds too, he was like, "Wow, that's impressive." Yeah, that's really big, especially with a program like Tech with all the players that came. I know we talked about it before you guys started the season, just how big that was. Just you being the first. You would think some other players have done it in the past, but you're the first. Just talk about that. Yeah, it was. I was surprised because like everyone named that's up there, like big names, all of them, Richie, Tony, all of them up there. Surprised they only had like 1,000 points, but to find out that I was the first one to ever add 1,000 rebounds to it was pretty amazing. Yeah. Now I know you guys didn't have the season that you guys wanted to have. You had
your foot that kept you out probably the first month of the season. Just overall, just talk about the season for you guys. I know, just talk about the performance in your team and how you guys kept fighting.
Well, you know, it was tough. You know, they were really hurt when I wasn't there for the month. And then when I came back, you know, it finally like sparked the team up. We started winning games. You know, we had practices were better for them, and we all started playing together again. No more individuals and all that. So when I came, like they just needed someone like their leader to come back. And when I came back, they got their stuff together.
Yeah. What was it that that you guys? What was something that really was just something that you guys couldn't overcome this season that could help you guys get on a roll? Because you guys had a chance to get on a roll, but what was that thing that just wasn't clicking for you guys?
A lot of turnovers.
Yeah.
That's what really killed us in every game. We just we rushed every game, like we didn't slow it down and just threw too many turnovers. That's what messed us up for the games.
Yeah. So now the basketball season's over for you. I mean, football, you play both basketball and football. Now, what's your next step? What's next for you, man? What's going on with you? How's school-wise, and then looking forward to your future?
Looking good. I'm hopefully getting to college because I really want to go play ball up there. And you know, I'm just gonna let my foot rest for a couple more weeks and then get started with AAU and then start applying for more schools.
Yeah. Then, how many schools have talked to you or shown interest so far?
More than 10.
More than 10?
Yeah.
Okay. And how are you able to weigh your options and just keep everything open, keep all options open?
I just, based on the school, like I go see them most of the time, and like it depends like how like the environment, like what's gonna be best for me, because I'm gonna be away from home after this year, so I want to be somewhere where I'm gonna be comfortable and I don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah. How was it with the coming off football season with the injury? How was it getting acclimated to everything? How was it just getting back into the thick of things with basketball, just knowing?
Yeah, it was.
Because sometimes you might worry about your foot. And how was it just not worrying about it and just playing?
Yeah, I was scared like when I got the news I could come back, because I was like one little fall, it could break again or something, so I was nervous. But we made something for my shoe, like a cushion to put inside. So like when I come down and stuff, like I have a protection, so when I come down. So once I had that, and it took me a couple games to get used to it because I was still nervous and stuff. But once I got through those couple games, it just played like nothing. I didn't care. Yeah.
And now, what is something that you're gonna remember about your Tech career? What's the oversight? Your 4 years playing varsity basketball was something that's gonna stick with you for the rest of your life.
It feels like I'm really happy for what I did, especially not for me, but for Tech, so give them something, because it's been like 10 years since someone got their name put up, but I'm going to put on too. So it's going to be really good to leave them with something.
Yeah. How vital was Coach Patrick for your growth as a player? How much did he help you?
He helped me. He's like another father to me. He's there for me on the court, off the court, and he just kept pushing me all the 4 years. Always there for me no matter what.
Yeah, definitely. Now you guys losing a lot of players this year, a lot of seniors this year. So what was that feeling like when you guys stepped on the court for the last time together?
It was very emotional, you know. Like, you know, we're all gonna miss each other. Some of us won't be playing with each other. Some of us will, but you know, we just gave it our all that night. Just played together for one last time. And we're gonna miss each other a lot.
Yeah, and football-wise, you guys had a good season in football too. Let's talk about your football career for a little bit. Just how that football season went for you.
I took a year off junior year, but when I came back, I made some noise for football.
Yeah. Well, did you miss it that much when you took that year off? Did you get more of a motor because you didn't play the previous season?
Yeah, I didn't. I really missed it. I wanted to play, but I also got an injury during that summer, so I wouldn't be able to play. So that's why I didn't go. Okay.
Now, how those two compatible with each other, playing football and basketball? What are some things that you've learned that helped you in each of the sports?
Just the difference in each sport, like the running and everything is different. It's like on the field, I had all the pads on, all that weight carrying. But when basketball season comes, it's light, so it's easy to run up, back, and down the court. And then just the aggression of each sport, that's what really helped me down low in the paint too.
Okay, yeah. And you talk about there's a lot of guys graduating this year that you've known for a long time. Just let's talk about you guys as a collective group. You guys bringing excitement back to the city with basketball and football. There's been, for the past couple of years, there's been a lot of excitement during basketball and football season with all the Lynn teams. Just talk about that you guys are bringing in this culture of winning that Lynn is used to with each sport.
It's a lot to the coaches. They stepped up a lot. We go over things, like we fixed everything with the coaches. And then once we get on a roll of winning, it's not going to stop for us. We just keep fighting no matter what.
Yeah. And what do you hope the younger players, that some of the juniors, freshmen, and sophomores, what do you hope they got from your play? What do you hope they learned from the way you conducted yourself on and off the basketball court?
Hopefully, I was a role model for them, so hopefully they know, take the classes serious before the basketball games, because basketball is going to come no matter what.
Yeah.
You just got to make sure you have the grades for it.
That's one thing that a lot of people forget. I mean, you can't play if you don't have the grades, so that's going to be good. And, what's next for you?
I'm gonna definitely gonna play ball. I got a decision too, because some schools want me to play football, but I think I'm gonna play basketball for sure when I go up to college.
Yeah. Is there a timetable of when you're gonna make your decision, or are you or did you set a timetable for yourself, or are you still weighing your options?
The end of April, I should make my decision.
That's when. Is that when all the schools are expecting your decision?
Yeah.
Well, that should be good. I mean, it's only gonna get better from here. You go to college, only the competition increases. So, I mean, good luck with everything, man, and congratulations on that. 1,000 points, 1,000 rebounds. That's big.
Thank you.
And lastly, you want to say anything to the city?
I just want to thank everyone out there that supported me, even though when my foot's messed up. But everyone that stayed by my side and was there at the game for me, supporting me. Thank you. I appreciate you.
All right, there you have it. That's been Robert Wallace, first player in Lynn Tech basketball history to get 1,000 points, 1,000 rebounds. That's big. So congratulations to him on a successful 4-year career at Lynn Tech. And good luck to him in the future, man. Stay in touch, too. We'll get you back here when you were setting records in college, too. All right, guys. You guys been watching Athletes Corner. We are done. Have a great day. Thanks, Rob. That was a good one. All right, we just got 3 minutes left, so we're going to run through some stuff real quick. Conor McGregor, he got arrested in Miami. Someone smashing someone's phone. I'm just guessing the person tried to take a picture of McGregor without asking him, and, people are crazy, so he's Irish and a little wild, so he probably ain't like that.
Got arrested for slamming the phone?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, so, I mean, Conor McGregor, come on, man. You make the headlines for the wrong reasons. What's wrong with you?
Take the picture, bro.
Yeah, I mean, he might have been in Miami, so he might have been on that liquor.
He's Irish.
Yeah, so he wasn't ready. He probably wasn't ready for that, but come on, Conor, man. Let him live. Let him live. All right, boxing, Mikey Garcia, Errol Spence Jr. We got two undefeated fighters. It's going down this Saturday. Errol Spence, 24-0 with 21 knockouts. Mikey Garcia, 39-0, 30 knockouts. Garcia got 2 years on him. He's 31. Spence is 29. So, I mean, Pedro's excited for this fight. He's excited for this one, and it should be a good one, especially when you got two undefeated guys.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, records tell you enough, so it's gonna be. I would tune in. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I might check it out. I don't know who's having a fight party. Actually, no, we're gonna be in Springfield. My bad. Never mind. Everybody watch the fight. All right. Errol Spence, Mikey Garcia. NCAA, nothing's really changed. Conference tournaments are happening right now. Northeastern, they got the automatic bid last night. They won the CAA.
Yeah, I seen it though. Congrats to Northeastern. Congrats to the Plansky family. Max is one of the one of the teammates on there,
Okay.
the program.
Okay.
Did cerebral palsy and all that. So shout out to Northeastern, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. So the results, the tournament, the bracket's going to be revealed this Sunday, so make sure you tune in. All the conference tournaments are happening right now. UConn women, they won their conference tournament, which isn't a surprise to any of us at all. High school basketball, we want to congratulate the Lynn English boys basketball team. Last night at the TD Garden, Todd and I were there. They got a tough victory against Newton North. They definitely won that game. It was a great game. These guys been playing hard all season, and during that game, you could just see everything was coming together. Newton North really had no answers for them.
Not at all. Tone's been putting the pressure on these guys for 2 years. The way he conditions them, I knew many teams can't compete with them in the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. And especially, they're making a lot of open shots. They're making shots. They got Jarnell hitting shots, Jack's hitting shots. Alonzo's been a problem in the post. And Justin, he's defensively, he hasn't been scoring much in the tournament, but defensively, he's been a problem defensively, especially when guys try to get in the paint.
Definitely. And sometimes less is more.
Yeah.
And you got 5 guys that can do a little bit of everything on the court. Sometimes somebody has to take a step back and just do the little things.
Yeah,
and that's what Justin's doing.
Yeah, it looks like these guys actually all are playing their role, because you see the scorers doing their scoring, the guys that will play defense, they all play defense, but certain guys are just contributing differently, and that's what you need. Especially they got Putnam coming up on Saturday.
Yeah, and they're just all worried about the overall goal, and that's winning.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's all they're worried about is winning.
Yeah, so Saturday, it's at Holy Cross, 7 p.m. They will be there. Me and Todd are going to be there. We're going to check them out. So hopefully they bring the chip. This might be, if they win this championship, this will be Lynn English's first state title since 1939. And it's like, and you think all the great players that came.
A lot of talent.
That came through that, and this might be their first one. So, I mean, good luck to them. We'll be there. So you guys make sure, we'll keep you guys updated. We'll be at the pep rally Friday. Yeah, they got a pep rally Friday at the school, so we'll be there too. So on that note, congratulations to the St. Mary's girls. I know we said it in the beginning, but they did it. Hit basically a game-winning shot. 59-62 the final, so kudos to those. We'll give a basketball season wrap-up next week at some point. But we're out of here. You guys have a great weekend or whatever you guys are doing. Stay safe. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Don't drink and drive. And, yeah. Do all that fun stuff.